So I'm gonna correct something that I've said before because I've learned something new. This path is actually not themeless. It is machinery based. It's just not overtly in the way that you'd expect. I mean, this
Because I
first
was thinking
one,
that there's no way it's themeless.
yeah, this first one is like blatantly machinery. It's like the only one that you could blatantly put that out for. But the rest are still technically machinery, just not in a standard way. And I kind of like that now. It gives me more appreciation for this part.
I mean, this is a good. This is a pyramid.
Yeah. Pyramid that connects to different dimensions.
Okay, that makes. Cause I was thinking. I mean, it's like a big robot techno thing. I mean, I guess pyramids don't have to be whole made of sandstone, etc., etc. But still.
Yeah. Ah, oh, darn it, just barely missed it. Good thing that, well, I mean, good thing it's part of the level design. Usually with Flat Wario, you have to either get hit or fall into water to come out. But they have these press machines that hey, that should have killed him. That basically put you back from Flat Wario. But at this point, as I said, I'm running through the level on hard mode for the first time, and I know that if I could just barely reach that, then there must be something over here since I couldn't reach it before.
Oh, you mean right there?
Yes. And there's the pyramid piece. This is in normal mode it wouldn't be that convoluted, but you have to keep on your toes now in hard mode, and I actually appreciate that now.
That's how Donkey Kong Country works.
Well, yeah, but it's weird. I've seen footage of the original recently. I'm kind of like, I don't know, something about the level design is rubbing me the wrong way.
The first one is clearly the first one in the series. When people say one is better than three, they're ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. I know it's the cool thing to hate on 3, but it just I'm just looking at some of the stuff they throw at you. Like the first, or was it second mining level, the mining cart level. That just seemed unfair. Also, I hate this guy. Just like he's there to solve puzzles with, but some of the later puzzles get really jerkish, and he bounces when you hit him, and you don't want him to enter the water, or else he'll turn on snorkeling gear, and then you won't be able to do anything with him because you can't have any of your actions in water.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, if anything, water is like the closest thing to a weakness that Wario has.
So basically, we're just playing Pulseman again.
In a way, sure. But back to something a bit earlier. I realize that I do gravitate to harder games. Because I don't. Well, I have a set of games that I can play when I want to have an easy time. When I'm just like, ugh, this is annoying. Today is annoying, life is annoying. I just want to just have fun and be happy for a bit. I have a set of games for that. But if my mood is neutral, or just happy, I guess, hard games that challenge the mind are totally what I'm into. The only problem is that you can still make an easy game fun, but when a hard game's when the difficulty of that becomes asinine, it takes away from the experience.
Yeah, but to be fair, something can be easy to its detriment as well.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's easier in general to make an easy fun game than a hard fun game, because you'll always reach a level where you're just like, well, at least for some people have it less than others, but you'll reach a level where you're just frustrated or stuck. The worst thing to be in a hard game, in my opinion, is stuck. And that is exactly why games that are hard but challenge skills. I think you know which game I'm going to be talking about. Are totally my jam.
Rayman?
Well, Rayman 2, yes. Okay, not Rayman 2 as in Rayman DOS, but Rayman as well, but I'm more talking about Prinny. That's getting. There are few games where I've played something over and over to try and get the best time, or an even better time, even though I've already gotten an S rank. And that is one of them, because I'm just like, no, I understand the enemy patterns. I know I can do better here. Or, if I've already done well, then I'll just do the Hell's Finest difficulty where one hit kills you. And usually, people wouldn't bother with that kind of stuff, or they'll just like experiment with it and then just stop after a while. But me, no, it's like I'm gonna see if I get S ranks in this kind of stuff, because the game itself is fun, but figuring it out while doing high-paced action is also amazing.
Yeah, it's where the execution is fun no matter how much times you've done it.
Right, and the thing is that the levels, it's perfectly structured for that, because the levels aren't long, to the point where you should be. They give you an 8-minute time limit without death. So that means that every level, no matter what, can be completed in 8 minutes.
Oh. I mean, I can't think of something to say to that. That's a good thing?
Well, it's a good thing, because first off, there are a lot of levels to begin with, and even if you die, then the timer is reset. So it's more, well, unless you're doing it with like the bosses, where I mean the timer resets automatically, I guess, the bosses, but you have less time during bosses. The time doesn't carry over, I think. I might be misremembering because it has been a while, but I think that's how it works. But between all of that, the levels are not long, and enemies, for the most part, will move the same way if you approach them the same way. So it's not like one thing where technically an enemy can be variable and get themselves like in spots that you don't want them to be in, or whatever. You, in essence, control the movement of the enemies with your movement. How you approach them dictates how they move, with only
That's very clever.
with only slight variations. So, like, if an imp is hounding me, I know that after 3 times, the imp is going to stop and do an attack. So at that point, I can off-screen it. So I just need to control where it goes. If a Kusith is going to jump at me in a pack, then I know that immediately afterwards they skip it. After trying to attack, they skip ahead in movement just a little bit. So what I do is that I plan being over there, and immediately get them as soon as they reach that movement point that I've predicted they'll be at.
Yeah, you have to plan ahead.
So it's because of that amazing design where you basically work with enemy movements, and also your movement is limited but also exploitable because of how the double jump works. You get 2 jumps and you can alter your trajectory completely with a second double jump, but you commit to those jumps. You can't jump and then move back. As in, well, I mean, you can jump and move back, but that will use your double jump, and you'll still move back a set distance. The jumps always have set distances, and you can't just immediately go and like alter it in midair, kind of like with Castlevania. So all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
elements work together to just make the perfect action platformer, in my opinion.
Which is, I mean, I can't debate it because I've never played it.
Yeah, I got Lincoln to play a bit of it while we were chilling after class, but he, I wish I made a mental note of how many lives he lost. I mean, I didn't put him in the hardest level or anything just to mess with him, or did I? That sounds like something I'd do.
Right, it does.
I, in that case, I don't remember if I put him in one of the harder levels to mess with him.
Well, that means we can discover together.
But yeah, so I'm going to have a lot to say when we eventually do that game. Of course, one of my biggest fears, despite, you know, it being something where I want more press for, want more attention given to. Because this guy in itself it has its own niche, but it's not really attended to on a wider spectrum. It's not like it hasn't had a game like Persona 4 where that just broadened the horizons and then 5 just brought it to almost mainstream, if not mainstream. Just like it doesn't have a game like that, so it's still in its own little thing. But one thing that don't want, and that ties back to my whole thing of liking an anime before it was cool, is that I want to get more press, but I also want to be known as the guy who knew it was awesome before everybody else started giving it some attention.
I mean, once you're getting popular for it, you can always say that afterwards.
Yeah, but the thing is that there's two problems with that. Problem one is if I do it too early, then just a few people will be like, "Oh, this is a kind of cool thing," and then that's unless we get like a weird Ape Escape Academy surge of that, which I still to this day do not understand. Um, that's just where it's going to stay, and I don't want that. But if I do it afterwards, sure, that technically might be the better solution. But I won't. Basically, I'll look like I'm just riding on a bandwagon. And not that that's exactly a bad thing in its proper term. Like how once My Hero Academia got an anime, just like everybody started talking about it. But it's just it feels like something that I just want to be known for, if anything, in the gaming spectrum. Just bringing to life, seriously, bouncing physics. Can you work with me? I just want to pick this up. Thank you. I just want to basically just bring to note what I consider an incredibly designed game.
Yeah, because I was saying that you were speaking a lot about it just now.
Yeah. So if I can do that, I'd be really happy if I could get a lot of people to play it. But the only way I see it getting the press it deserves, is if like somebody like Johnny like does it. But he's only going to like do that if somebody's either going to send him that to that donators marathon, or if like he just randomly decides to pick up something and then thinks it's good. But
Where is it quiet right now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was expecting a response. But yes, let's actually talk about the level. This is the toxic landfill. This is also technically machinery based because of the stuff that's in the dump. But a dump or a landfill is not a usual level trope, so it didn't
Yeah, it's
register.
definitely new. Well, not new, but it's definitely different. I was thinking it's related once you know it's related, but if you don't know it's related, you'd wonder what's going on.
Yeah, and so that's why the whole machinery thing. I hate the bouncing stuff in this, but that's why the whole machinery thing didn't like register. And you'll see in a later level, in the next two levels, why it wouldn't register normally, anyways. But now that I know, I'm just like, actually, that's pretty clever.
Yeah, it's very. Sometimes you have to find out exactly what they did to nail their plans, which gives you some more appreciation.
I mean, that's basically the whole thing with mystery series most of the time now. Almost to the detriment. Because
Yeah.
I like figure it the feeling of figuring something out through clues and then getting validated through that. Sure, that's great. That is a great feeling. But and the thing is that I find it lesser to the feeling of seemingly random things coming together once things are explained. And then you'd be like, oh, so that's why they did this. With only very specific situations where I count that as smart, because I didn't figure it out. Rather than they placed the mystery in such a way that barely anyone could have figured it out until it was told.
Or unless you're inside that culture.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing where I mean I don't watch enough mystery stuff to say, but I definitely realize like the whole thing with a good or bad mystery series, or at least a few mystery episodes, because TV shows like doing that. My thing, however, for the quintessential example for that is actually the Monogatari series. You know, that one that your girl totally loves and you should totally get into.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And so, just between how incredibly, darn it, I keep forgetting where the thing is now. There's a block that you have to break down here, but the exact positioning of it, I keep forgetting where it is. And these guys keep prematurely making me even fatter. The trick to get out of Fat Wario early is to just keep jumping and moving.
Are you sure you're getting out early, or are you just passing the time?
Well, no, he stays like that if you just let the time pass without doing much. And these transformations, some of them are timed, some of them are context based, some of them will last until you hit like waters or something. Or in the vampire's case, light. Actually, and the zombies case.
I was about to ask if there are any more transformations other than the ones we've seen.
Yeah, vampire, zombie.
Why hasn't he turned into a car yet? Yoshi turned into a car.
Because he has his own car. Yoshi doesn't have his own car in canon.
That's true.
But Wario doesn't turn into anything artificially. He always turns into something that, okay, realistically is not the word, but he could feasibly turn into in context of the thing itself. So a vampire bat biting him be feasibly turning into a vampire. It's not like where he just randomly turns into a helicopter, which I always found weird. Nobody ever like talks about it.
Yeah, it was odd.
Um,
With no explanation.
yep. That's I never did look up how the transformations were done in like crafted or woolly world, if they were done at all.
There are different ones, like I said, that's where the car comes from. He turns into a giant robot. Wait, no, I'm mixing that up with Epic Yarn.
Because I'm thinking that maybe I've seen a transformation from those games before, but nothing clear is coming in my mind.
Same here. Like I should know it exists, but I don't remember.
Yeah, so that oh, right. That reminds me. The whole thing with the yarn stuff or the arts and crafts stuff. You're a Yoshi guy. How do you feel about it?
What do you mean, the aesthetic?
Well, the shift to make that more of a Yoshi thing. Because Yoshi already technically did that with the whole storybook thing that he had before.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Yoshi is looking for its art style, since it always had a unique style. It's looking for that style, and the style it has now works, I think.
I mean, the whole
That
thing with
also
Yoshi,
seemed to be...
there was, apart from Yoshi's story, Yoshi's, what was that called? Yoshi's Island Twisted or something? I forget. The one that used the Game Boy.
Yoshi's Island DS.
No, not that.
Universal Gravitation.
Okay, no wonder I didn't remember its name then. Or wait, isn't that like its UK name or something?
Maybe, but that's the name I remember, because it's probably better.
I think it's Yoshi Topsy Turvy or something.
Yeah, Topsy Turvy.
Yeah, but that one had a storybook aesthetic. I think they were trapped in a story, weren't they? I don't know. So it's not like it's a foreign thing. And just like how the whole thing with Kirby wasn't technically a foreign thing, but it's still not the Kirby style. But we're wondering if this is now the Yoshi style.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that like the amount of Yoshi games has kind of increased too. Like we're probably done with Yoshi's Island, because Yoshi's the new Yoshi game showed that we don't need Yoshi's Island to have pretty much the exact same gameplay outside the time mechanics.
Well, I'd have to say that the whole thing, something that actually brings up. There are a lot of things in the Mario universe that grant wishes.
Okay, name them.
Well, first off, the story of the new Yoshi's game is about Bowser Jr. trying to steal something that grants, like a stone that grants wishes.
Yeah.
And just like I remember, the star spirits granting wishes. There's like, what was that thing? I think there was like a Mario Party game about that, but there's a lot of oh right, and the Star Road, in Super Mario RPG. I think there's something in not Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi that I'm forgetting, but I do remember there are a lot of wish granting items, in this universe, which just makes me wonder, like, why between everything else that's available in the Mushroom Kingdom, how Bowser's like the only one who's decided to use them irresponsibly.
Yeah.
Like,
I had a reply to that, and I think I moved the phone away, so you might have. But yeah, I had a reply to that, but at the last second I forgot what he said.
wait, forgot what I said?
Yeah.
I said, how is it that there are so many wish granting?
Oh yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. So I don't remember what I was going to say to you about that then.
Oh, well, yeah, so I know this is a whole call for the Mario series to have more villains outside of RPGs or whatever, that whole thing. But like the fact that only Bowser, um, and I guess Bowser Jr. at a lesser extent now, which is almost the same thing, um, are the ones like constantly going after them. This just seems weird that nobody else has bothered to do so. Like,
Yeah. I heard there's a rumor that Farfel was No, I'm not sure if I'm mixing it up. Farfel like a major person in the new Mario Luigi, like something like that. Like he's gonna be the main villain of Bowser's story or Bowser Jr.'s story
uh,
or something.
wait, you mean the Superstar Saga thing?
Isn't it the Inside Story remake?
Yeah, but the Inside Story remake, he's the main villain in general.
Oh, okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's why, like, people, well, that's one of the reasons why people like the RPGs, even though technically, if you really look at it, the final boss of every RPG is in some way Bowser, somehow. But the thing is that it's weird how Wario, being the guy he is, would never try to get those wish granting things and they'd make a game out of that. I mean,
True,
Waluigi tried it
infiltrating.
once.
Oh, that's a new power up.
No, we've had this earlier in this stage. I guess I don't think we've had this yeah, they put this last one right before the end. Jerks. But yeah, we had that one earlier in the stage. But in between everything else, like it would be so easy to make a game where Wario tries to just like wish for coins, wish for endless riches, or to become king again, or whatever, instead of randomly using the power of hypnosis to do it in Super Mario Land 2. I guess they didn't really establish a specific character for him at that point, but there's that. I mean, even Waluigi has tried it. Uh, it was in an incredibly weird game, but he did technically try.
I
So,
mean, in an official game.
Dance Dance Revolution, Waluigi causes this conflict.
Interesting. I hope that's where he stays.
Are you really going to start this up now?
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I think Waluigi doesn't need to become more popular.
Well, that's part of his point of his character. He resents the popular people, and he also loves chaos. But just the thing is
I
that
actually remember that Jim Sterling made a video on Waluigi where he said if Waluigi became more popular, he'd lose his appeal.
oh, oh, so he gets it
Yeah.
too. But my thing is that Wario with Waluigi, at least, is still something that could just like work as a main antagonist thing. Because at least they were funny in the golf and tennis games for the GameCube. It's like they were hilarious in those. I wish more of those happened. And they're technically also the villains in the new tennis game, but of course they're being controlled by a bigger villain.
You'd think that they'd put Waluigi in the WarioWare games.
Well, no, because in the end, while Wario's a greedy jerk, um, he's still friends with these people. Waluigi's attitude doesn't really lend well to having stable friendships. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, but it seems like it's his own fault.
Also sad.